Have you ever been playing Left 4 Dead and you just wander into some back alley or room that you never really thought of before, but it has a very odd place in the actual design of the map? Well, today we're gonna talk about some weird, strange, odd, mysterious, or whatever you want to call them type of places that I've found in Left 4 Dead. The credit for this idea goes to Any Austin. I'm gonna leave a link to his channel down below in the description. Please do not hesitate to go check him out. The idea, once again, came from him. So without further ado, make sure you like, subscribe, comment if you enjoyed the video, and let's get into the first strange and mysterious place. So the first strange or odd place is actually on the first map after you jump down into this point of no return, this hole in the ceiling in the map that I believe is called Apartments. If you make your way through, you come across this car that has seemingly smashed into the apartment. You know, Valve likes to do a lot of environmental storytelling, so you're gonna see a lot of stuff like this throughout Left 4 Dead. But I never really notice this car. Like, I see the car, but I always think to myself, I just gotta keep going. But what if you stop for a second and you think, where was this car actually going? Where was it driving from? What road was it on before it crashed? Are there any hints of the crash besides this? And what about this? Is there any more of it? Well, we can actually check by going around the apartments on the outside and no clipping out of the map, and we can actually take a look. And you can actually see it without no clipping. You can see the car, it's right there, crashed into the building, and there's other cars that are on fire, but none with as much detail as that military car. So let's go ahead and let's no clip. So as we make our way out of the map, we can actually see the outside of the vehicle. But you can see that it's crashed into a building that I find the location of this lamppost pretty weird, but you can see rubble and stuff, which I find kind of weird because the color of this rubble doesn't actually match anything. Like, where does this rubble actually come from? Let's go to the next place. Alright, so the next place I wanted to show you for the keen-eyed viewers who already know where I am. I'm 5 feet from the other place. I genuinely think this one is a bit more interesting, so I want to show you it as well. A lot of people don't know that there's actually an entire area that you can explore over here. And you know, I played this map for a very long time as a kid, and I never, when I tell you never, came over to this area, and there's more of it over there, but I never ever came this way. Because why would you? It's so out of place. You have to go so much farther when you could just go straight to the safe room, which is right over there. So it's kind of out of the way, and it's really inefficient to come down here. But as we make our way over here, they actually put detail. As you can see, there's graffiti on the walls, there's signs with actually named companies. Simon Dairy Products since 1936, I believe that says. There's more graffiti. And there's a room that you can actually enter over here that has a door like this, these 2D doors that I was talking about earlier, with no knobs or anything, that are just basically pixel art. And as you come over here, this is what loops the map, or not the map, but this area to the safe room. And you can see that stuff actually spawns in this room. You can actually get pills and pipe bombs, and I'm assuming Molotovs and adrenaline as well. But it's a really odd place that not a lot of people even know about. And to be honest, I didn't know about for years. Until one day I just was flying around in no clip, and I saw this area, and I flew over here, and I was like, hey, there's actually something over here. And another thing that I just noticed is that. What is that? It's a very strange and out of place thing. I believe it's meant to be a door, maybe? That's weird. So yeah, there's that thing up there, which is a bit strange. So as we come up to this strange little thing up here, I honestly can't really tell what it's supposed to be. But if I had to guess, it's supposed to be some type of like blinds, like window blinds. It doesn't really make sense because there's no other windows on the side of this building. And the lighting, when I shine my flashlight onto this, doesn't actually change. You can see that the lighting is completely fixed. It's not dynamic. Even from a distance like this, it looks so out of place. Let's move on to the third one. So the next place that I wanted to take a look at is on Swamp Fever, and I believe this is the second map of Swamp Fever. And at first glance, it might not look like much. It's these houses that are just wood, nothing else. And once again, leave a comment down below if you have a theory on what this is or why this is. In my opinion, I think that there were once houses that have been burned. And I had a friend that told me that he thinks that there were just in progress houses that weren't complete yet, that just got ravaged, you know, when the zombie apocalypse started. Because if you look at some of the closer details in the trash here, you can actually see clothes, there's wrappers, seems to be some type of beads, there's cans. And you know, maybe someone ended up living here in the future. This is not really indicative of a house in progress if you have bags and shirts. But another strange thing about these houses too is that they're spawn locations for grenades and healing items. And it's not just this one. There's a bunch of these scattered throughout the map, but it's pretty strange. Like, why would loot spawn in here if this was a construction site and not like a burned down house? You know what I mean? And it's if you come to the back here and you look towards this pile of junk, you're like, well, what are you even talking about? What is this? And you come closer, you start to realize that the elevation is a little weird over here. And you actually drop a little bit. And if I crouch down, you can actually see under the map here. There's a little bit of screw up in the terrain, I guess, that they made, because the 2D art here, the 2D pixel stuff, connects between these two, but the terrain is off in elevation, which leaves a gap in the middle here. You can actually see that the foundation of the house is a real thing, and it's under the ground here, and there's actually water under here, which makes sense when you think about how water is made in game design. It's not just water over there, you know, it's a giant pool of water that is under the map as well, which makes sense. But it's very strange, and you don't really get this in a lot of AAA games today. A lot of this stuff is kind of found and eventually cut out, but I think it's pretty cool when you find something like this in old games, because, you know, who comes over here? No one in their right mind is gonna come and just look. Like, why would they? That doesn't make any sense. There's no point in coming into this random area with, you know, a pile of trash. Yeah, let's move on to the next area. So the next place I wanted to show you guys is this definitely not imposing area in the finale of Dead Air, which, you know, how could you ever think that? You see that there's not really anything out here, and it's kind of a dead space. But if you keep walking, you see that the developers actually put some thought into this area, because there's a pill spawn here. And I'm guessing maybe there's another spawn in that corner that I just didn't get when I spawned into this map. It's pretty interesting. There's actually pills here. But if that was it, I wouldn't show you this place. What makes this place interesting? And if you come over here, you can see, whoa, there's actually a place back here. Stuff behind this gate that you don't even have access to. That you'll never have access to. But unfortunately for them, we have no clue. We can actually explore this area, which is weird because this is an airport, remember that. So why is there just some back room area with a bunch of boxes on shelves for no reason. You know, it looks like this is a garage because there's it looks like some garage door, or maybe some door that you can open and maybe vehicles park here. Why is there just boxes? It's meant to just be a place that you glance over and like, oh, there's some boxes in there, and your brain kind of filters out that info. But again, if you stop and you take a look, pretty weird. And another weird thing about this room is there's 3 separate textures. There's the ceiling texture, which is this smooth sort of concrete underside sort of look, and then the walls are like this concrete layered, all jumbled at the bottom. And then you have the ground, which is the same ground from the outside. That was this place. Let's move on to the next one. So for the very final strange and mysterious place, I wanted to come to Blood Harvest specifically, in the second to last map. I forget the name of it. If you ignore that bridge for a second, you can actually step off the side here. You can look around, but you can actually walk down here. And you can actually look around. I don't think the developers really had this in mind when they made the map. I mean, how do you really block off like this area? You'd probably have to just make it flush and not a slope. It looks to me like they wanted a slope. I guess it just allows you to come down here. But if you come down here, you can actually walk through this tree, look around, and that's the house that you're in before. And if you jump out of that window, you actually die when you fall down here. That's a high enough drop to kill you. And you keep going, you can see that you can actually go all the way around the building. And one of the interesting details, which you might have already noticed, is the side of this cliff and the what I presume to be a base plate down there is completely wrong. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how you can actually come over here without doing any sort of special tactics, without no clip or anything. And like I was saying, if you look out the edge over here, it looks weird. It's not a place you're supposed to be looking, but I would think that they would patch this up with something, not leave it so like sharp. You can see the 90-degree angles here, so you know, they kind of copped out there. But other than that, that's the last place I had for you guys. It's pretty cool. You can also come over here and peek this. Yeah, that's it. If you guys want more of these style of videos of me running around and exploring this beautifully made game, let me know down in the comment section below. Once again, the credit for this idea goes to Any Austin on YouTube. Like I said, I'll leave his link down in the description below. Make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment on any special places you want me to show in a future video. And if this video does well and you guys leave comments about, you know, leave a good description of how to get there, I'll actually shout you out and I'll show the place for everyone. So that's pretty neat. Hope you guys had a nice day, and I'll catch you later. Peace.